Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the launch of the first event of the GSS Apprenticeship Week. I am Octavia McIntosh, and I will be your moderator for today. Welcome again. A warm welcome to everyone joining us today. I am the chair of the Apprenticeship and Skills Committee within the Global Services Skills Council, and I'm also Director of Talent Acquisition at IBEX. And today, the GSS Apprenticeship Week kickoff promises to be an exciting and memorable one. We have lots of activities in store. The apprentices, the instructors, the coaches, and the administrators are all super excited, and it is my pleasure to kick things off today. All right, so before we get into the events agenda, allow me to share a little bit about the apprenticeship program. In general, the apprenticeship in general is a cost-effective workforce development strategy for employers to train and upskill their employees. Now, the GSS project, through its Global Services Skills Council, is an employer-led body to improve the skills development system in order to provide the global services sector with better skilled workers, particularly in the higher value-added segments. Now, through the Apprenticeship and Skills Committee of the GSS Council, the industry highlighted a series of critical competencies and skill sets required, and the committee formulated an outline with those list of skill areas. And HEART NSTA, which is the National Training Agency, developed the program curriculum that is being offered today in the GSS program, starting with the supervisory management training. Now, the skills development in the global services sector is first collaborative, it's employer-driven, and it is skills-focused. It's a partnership between the government of Jamaica and the GSS, and it rests on industry's expertise in identifying the current and the future skills demands. So in essence, the current apprenticeship program addresses the most pressing needs outlined by the industry. And since its pilot in October 2019 and the official program rollout in February of this year, the reviews from the apprentices and the firms have been remarkable. They are seeing the difference in how they are able to articulate and how they're able to really demonstrate the skills that they have garnered so far. We are happy with the progress thus far, and already we are looking forward to another year. The code name for the apprenticeship program is PEAK, Perform to Enhance and Accelerate Your Knowledge. So at this time, without any further ado, I am going to introduce to you our program director, Marjorie Straw, of the Global Services Skills Project, and Marjorie will be speaking with you about the GSS project and highlight the importance of skills development and the various initiatives. Thank you. Over to you, Marjorie.
Thank you so much, Octavia. I share your excitement. Wow, this is going to be such a fun week. Apprentices, get your peak shirts ready, because when we are meeting in the Zoom party, which I'll talk to you a little bit later, we're all going to have so much fun. But the excitement is there, the buzz is there, and I'm so pleased, Octavia, that we have gotten to this milestone where we can celebrate the achievements and the commitments of the apprentices to the program. As you rightly said, we started in 2019. We have some 600 apprentices enrolled. Thanks to the GSS subcommittee of the apprenticeship under the GSSC, we'll be rolling out a leadership and management program next year. So definitely there are a lot of very exciting things related to the skills development framework for the global services sector. That being said, let me step back and give everyone who's listening, and welcome and thank you for joining us, an overview of what is the skills development for global services sector project, which we call the GSS project. This project represents a strong investment by the government of Jamaica and a strong collaboration between private sector and the public sector when in terms of identifying a specific project that will support the growth of the global services sector. When we talk about the global services sector, we're not only just talking about BPO firms, business process outsourcing, but we are also referring to information technology outsourcing, ITO, and knowledge process outsourcing, KPO firms. In that sense, the project has two main objectives. One is to strengthen the skills development framework, strengthening the talent pool so that the persons who are currently employed, as well as those who are aspiring to work in the global services sector, understand the opportunities that the sector has to offer and understands how to navigate the global services sector and delivering optimal performance when contracted to work in the sector. And the second objective is to ensure that the ecosystem is supportive of this growth. In order to attract foreign direct investment, our talent pool must be strong, but also we must look at the value proposition that we're offering as a nearshore destination to ensure that investors understand that we are moving into higher value added segments. And in that regard, Octavia, let me now go into some specific activities that the project has undertaken to strengthen the skills development framework. The first one is the obvious one, what we're celebrating here today, the GSS Apprenticeship Program, the GSS Apprenticeship Week, because we recognize, and as you rightly mentioned, it is from the industry. The firms in the industry expressed to us that they had a need to fill mid-management tier, mid-level tiers such as supervisory management and other roles in leadership and management. And in that regard, the GSSC endorsed the apprenticeship program. And as I mentioned, to date, we have some 600 apprentices, and we know that this number is only going to grow as the program expands. We also have what we refer to as short-term certificate program. We are rolling this out under the GSS internship program. Many of you might have seen the ads that were placed on social media, attracting tertiary students to higher value added segments for a short term whilst they're on break from school, or in some cases whilst working during select hours within their school schedule. And this program is meant to support the stronger appreciation that the industry requires persons with more technical skills, persons working in higher value added segments such as data analytics, looking at HR, risk management, project management, shared services, for example. So that is something that we've recently rolled out. The beauty about the short-term certificate program is that it really gives the firms in the industry a blank slate. It's a co-funding arrangement, and they can select any course that they feel will help them to grow into higher value added segments and approach the project to discuss how best to implement. Other activities that we're planning is and we're about to launch this, is the career pathway framework, because we recognize that persons need help to understand the global services sector. They do not readily recognize at times that the sector is comprised of Fortune 500 companies or other companies, many of them operating in a global environment that has global standards. And as such, the requirements for the skills are demanding, they're dynamic because they're responding to client needs. And the career pathway framework is one such mechanism that we're confident will support persons who are looking to work in the GSS. We will have 4 career tracks in ITO, KPO, BPO, and digital services that will identify the different job roles and how a person can move either laterally, horizontally, or vertically, what qualifications and skills they will need to support that movement, what training they may have to consider, and it will even give the person a sense of what is the market rate for salary ranges with respect to that role. Look out for this. We'll be launching this before the end of the year. The Career Pathway Framework is dynamic, and we will also have a career advisory service feature in the event that users have questions and wish to get additional guidance in terms of, how do my current subjects fit in to the role that I'm seeking? What else do I need to do? It will help to answer questions such as those. Earlier this year, Octavia, as you well know, being a part of the GSSC, the GSSC endorsed recommendations from the Industry Skills Upgrade Strategy that outlined key knowledge areas that Jamaica must embrace if it is going to grow further in the global services sector. Some of these areas include digital marketing, management and leadership, critical and analytical thinking, software development and integration, communication, cybersecurity, and UX design, just to name a few. Again, the project team on the GSS is very excited working with industry in this regard as we now roll out the different action plans that we will need to implement to ensure that persons acquire or understand the importance of these skills to be better fit for the industry, to be more marketable to the industry, as well as to support the industry. And then last but not least, we will be starting the consultancy this year of our GSS Talent Hub. Look out for that. There will be a lot more information. Follow us on our social media platforms, GSS Jamaica, and look out for information related to the Talent Hub and how you can get involved. So yes, it's a real exciting week. Let me just go through some of the activities we have lined up. So tomorrow we will be having an industry webinar where persons can learn about the competitive fund, how it works, can you get involved in the GSS apprenticeship program, how can you tap into the internship program or the different offerings under the short-term certificate. We will also be hearing from other industry speakers on the importance of skills development and why there's such an emphasis on that today and how that will help to support the growth of the GSS. On Wednesday, we have Ask an Apprentice. This is going to be a 1-hour virtual session featuring a Q&A to select apprentices in the GSS apprenticeship program. Here you'll hear firsthand their experience and what they're doing and how they feel about the program and the certificates and their own growth since they have been involved in the program. On Thursday, we have a Learn and Lime apprenticeship chat. This will be a closed group with allowing apprentices to interact with each other, because one of the things the project is doing is that we're building a community that understands the importance of lifelong learning, a community that understands how we can share knowledge to grow together. And so this program will on Thursday will address that. And of course, we will culminate with our Zoom party with no other than Miss Kitty. So it's really going to be a fun week. I can't wait to see everybody on the Zoom party. I can't wait for all the different interactions we'll have this week as we learn from each other and we highlight the successes of the GSS apprenticeship program. So thank you again, Octavia, and over to you.
Thank you, Marjorie, for that concise overview. I am excited. Apprentices, are you ready? If you are ready, type ready in the comments. Let me see. All right. And our next speaker is a representative from the Heart NSTA. Now, the Heart NSTA is a strategic partner in the development and execution of the GSS Apprenticeship Program. And I welcome To share her message, K. Marie Forbes, Director of Strategic Partnerships, Research and Innovation at Heart NSTA. Over to you, K. Marie.
Thank you so very much, Octavia. I am super excited this morning for all those apprentices who would have benefited significantly from this initiative under the GSS portfolio. Good morning, everyone. Diane Edward, President JAMPRO, Marjorie Straw, Program Director, Global Services Skills Project, Octavia herself, our chair, and Apprenticeship and Skills Committee of the Global Services Skills Council, our guest speaker, Donnelly Robinson, other specially invited guests, well-wishers, apprentices, I see you in the virtual space, congratulations, and accept pleasant morning from the Heart NSTA Trust family. Today marks the beginning of the Global Services Sector Apprenticeship Week. Aren't we excited? We are. This event is a nationwide celebration that brings together government officials, apprentices, business leaders, career seekers, educational institutions, stakeholders, and other critical partners to demonstrate their support for apprenticeship. The Heart NSTA Trust, in delivering on its mandate to develop Jamaica's human capital, fully endorses this initiative and is elated to be partnering with the global services sector to ensure that Jamaica's workforce is equipped with the relevant skills and competencies to drive productivity, workforce development, and sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, well-wishers, this financial year, the Heart NSTA Trust have already engaged over 20,000 participants in various apprenticeship type programs. The highlight for today, however, is the placement of over 300 participants across 8 firms within the global services sector. That is impressive. Important to also note is that the collaboration with the GSS, as Margie would have said before, has birthed a modernized supervisory management curriculum. The organization have also provided support to the sector by way of job training, quality analyst, customer engagement, job fairs, and job placement. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how a successful partnership impacts and continue to impact a sector such as the GSS. As we recognize and prepare for the unprecedented shift in the educational and training landscape, we look to further strengthen this vital career pathway through the development of the National Apprenticeship Policy. This policy will be further endowed with a 5-year strategic plan in place to increase the annual apprenticeship target. This shift must be agile and it must be deliberate if we are to meet the demands of a rapidly changing world of work. Jamaica, like the rest of the world, is experiencing youth employment crises, large cohorts of unemployed youth, and skill mismatches. To better address these problems, many countries are exploring the option of introducing or improving their apprenticeship systems. Other countries are trying to modernize and formalize the informal and the traditional apprenticeships as a way to expand quality TVET in their countries. Ladies and gentlemen, research has shown us that countries such as the UK, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and we could go on and on, use apprenticeship as the main way of delivering formal vocational education and training. In others, apprenticeship is an alternative option to school-based technical and vocational education and training. Countries with large informal economies often have traditional and informal forms of apprenticeship, which often represent the principal means for the majority of the young population to acquire work skills. This tells us that GSS, the global services sector, is on the right path. The apprenticeship model of training is relevant. It is necessary to build strong and inclusive economies. Apprenticeship programs can be designed to help companies upskill their current workforce, help experienced workers transition successfully into new careers, connect underserved populations to education and employment, and build opportunities in rural communities, thus creating prospects for young people to learn valuable skills and gain credentials without having to relocate. Other benefits, I'm sure you'll agree with me, that simply cannot be overlooked includes the fact that apprenticeship programs provide an enriching school to work transition by providing relevant work experience in a real labor market environment while learning a trade. It equips young people with the skills needed by different industries. It is an effective training methodology for transferring complex skill sets, including high technology occupations. It enables companies like the global services sector to better cater for immediate and future staff needs. It makes the TVET systems more responsive to skills shortages and skills mismatch. And according to OECD, soft skills are an important part of the skill set in many occupations, and these are best learned in real workplaces rather than in classrooms or stimulated work environments. And so this collaboration with the Heart NSTA Trust and JAMPRO signals a move in the right direction to proactively address some skills gap that may exist in the workforce. As I close, ladies and gentlemen, I want to reiterate that apprenticeship is the right solution as it combines rigorous on-the-job and classroom learning, which means that educators and employers have to work together on the program design. So, as Marjorie would have said in her opening speech, the Heart and STA Trust and the global services sector came together and worked significantly hard and smart at really developing an international standard curriculum for supervisory management. This, you will agree with me, provides an excellent foundation for educators and employers to collaborate. And so, to all our business partners who continue to be committed to the apprenticeship program, we hail you today. Congratulations. Thank you from the Heart and STA Trust. Thank you to the global services sector for this powerful collaboration as we work together to ensure that Jamaica's work environment is rightfully sustained. Thanks again, and congratulations to all our apprentices in the virtual space.
Thank you so much, Kay Marie. Thank you for illuminating the benefits of the apprenticeship program and the value of this collaboration. And I'm sure that the apprentices and the firms will validate same. Thank you again. At this time, our distinguished guest is here. Actually, before we go over to our special guest speaker, I am privileged and honored to introduce our next speaker who will be delivering her message and welcome. And she is from JAMPRO. JAMPRO, Jamaica Promotions Corporation, is the executive agency with oversight of the implementation of the Global Services Sector Project. And so at this time, I am pleased to welcome the president of JAMPRO, Diane Edwards. Over to you, Diane.
Thanks very much, Madam Chair, and good morning Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope there are a lot of you online. I can't actually see how many are online, but I'm just really, really pleased and excited to welcome you all to this Apprenticeship Week. I think Octavia McIntosh said really eloquently how important entrepreneurship is and apprenticeship is. And this Apprenticeship Week really is your week. It's your week to focus on the number of skills and the amount of skills that you will be able to access as an apprentice in this program. Jamaica is really at a crossroads. We are developing an industry which is the industry of the future. We have reached a huge milestone in 46,000 people involved in the global services sector. That is huge, and this is a first for Jamaica. And we actually are the best location in the Caribbean from which to do global services. So I think it is really, really important that everyone who is listening today understands the real opportunity of the global services sector. A lot of people call it the business process outsourcing sector, but it actually is much broader than that because it involves information technology outsourcing, and it involves knowledge process outsourcing. So this is a priority sector for Jamaica, and it's not a small thing that the Prime Minister designated this sector an essential services sector during the No Movement days we have had. The Jamaican government is a strong proponent of this concept of converging learning in the workplace to prepare employees for continuous and rapidly changing future of work. Work is changing and work is going online. I think if anybody who has lived through the COVID period is not seized of that, you haven't been paying attention. Work is going online. It is already online. And this is really where the opportunity lies for young apprentices today. You need to get online, you need to understand the online world, and you need to understand your role in it and the opportunity it presents for you. The government of Jamaica has invested 15 million US dollars through a loan from the IDB, Inter-American Development Bank, to support the development of this sector over a 5-year period. And the project is being implemented by JAMPRO through a project executing unit headed by Marjorie Straw. And I think that this program is really a gift to the Jamaican people, particularly to young people, because this is a young people's industry, to upweight your skills and prepare yourself for jobs that we don't even know what they will look like in the future. This is your opportunity to get your foot in the door and to see how you can benefit from this industry. The GSS, as I just said, it's over 46,000 people in Jamaica and over 100 firms. JAMPRO is constantly promoting this industry, and we expect to practically double by 2024 the number of people in this industry, and particularly to expand the type of jobs that are available in the industry. So not just customer service, but IT services in general. So to achieve this goal, we actually have to engender a public-private coalition. This is critical to increasing the number of skilled professionals and to attracting and developing a qualified talent pool of professionals. So this is what we are doing in the GSS. The most important aspect of competitiveness of any country going forward will be their talent pool. Why do people come to Jamaica? Yes, they come because they've heard about Jamaica through Usain Bolt, through Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price, Elaine Thompson here and now. They've heard about Jamaica and they've heard about our culture, etc. But if they're going to spend their money here and invest here, it's because we have the talent pool that is skilled and understands the global services sector. Training is critical to that talent pool, and it is through the training and the apprenticeship. And the apprenticeship is learning while you're earning, learning on the job, learning by doing. And all of this is critical to us being able to really develop the workforce of tomorrow. And this is where we need to go. This is where the country needs to go. And we are really on the brink of a huge explosion of this market. You've heard about nearshore, the nearshore advantage. What Jamaica offers is a nearshore solution. So people don't need to take a 13-hour flight to go to India or to go to Beijing. They can do here in Jamaica what they want to do, what they previously have done, let's say, in the Philippines and India. But this is a 2 and 3 hour hop away and a much more pleasant place to visit. So we have a lot going for us, but the critical element is people. It's all of you who are listening to us today. So we need to continue the thrust to develop our young people, develop our young minds, develop the soft skills and the critical skills and the knowledge that will help you to thrive in this industry. So if I can leave you with one message here today, it is get involved. Get involved in this industry that is preparing you for the future. This is a real opportunity to get involved in where the future of work is going and to understand the skills, not only the knowledge skills, but the soft skills that are going to create a critical mass of skills for us to attract the industries of tomorrow. So you are in a great privileged place because you have access to this industry now. So we want you all to focus on this week, to get involved, to understand what apprenticeship is and how you can get involved and how you can tell others to get involved, how we can build this movement into creating the Jamaica that we all want to see and be a part of. So thanks very much for listening. Congratulations to the GSS team, the Global Services Sector team, Marjorie and her team. They have done a tremendous job of getting us this far. And the companies who are on board and our partners, the Global Services Association of Jamaica, HEART, NSTA, and other partners, we really congratulate you and thank you for your support, because it's your support that has enabled us to get to this juncture and that will catapult us forward in the days to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diane, and thank you, Jampro, for your continued promotion of the GSS and the nearshore solution that Jamaica has to offer through the talent development programs that we have, which includes the GSS Apprenticeship program. And I agree with you that this program is indeed a gift to the young people to get their feet wet, get involved in the future of work. Well, I can't hear you, but speak with your keyboards, type in the comment section, get involved, get involved. Thank you so much again, Diane. And at this time, we have our special guest speaker ready to go. And it is indeed an honor for me to introduce her at this time. Donnelly Donaldson Esquire is a product and public policy strategist for international markets. She has led teams and collaborated with governments to build education products, education tech, and blended learning that serve hundreds of thousands of youths and teachers across East Africa, including Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda. An ICT for development enthusiast, Donnelly has an interest in ICT and how technology can be leveraged to improve livelihoods. She studied tech law and policy in the US and Kenya. Donnelly is also a career coach to ambitious women seeking to build an impactful international development career in Africa. She is a noted public speaker and trainer, having graced audiences from Trinidad to Switzerland to Nigeria and today Jamaica. Donnelly is a proud Jamaican, flying the flag high all over the globe. Please help me welcome Donnelly Donaldson, Regional Policy and Partnership Strategist of Educate. Thank you. Over to you, Donnelly. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure for me to be joining you for this Global Services Sector Apprenticeship Week launch all the way from Nairobi in Kenya. If it looks a bit dark, I apologize for that. It is already 6 p.m. my time, but I hope that you guys can hear me. I am so excited and energized by what we have been talking about, to know that Jamaica is a part of this global revolution, and that for you, especially the 300 apprentices, you are validating this model. You are at the forefront of something that I believe is going to really help to shift the way that we do education and training in Jamaica. Honestly, I was so excited to see that there was a week of events highlighting the importance of apprenticeship and on-the-job training for Jamaican employees. Because like many of you attending school in Jamaica, I was not exposed to the wide variety of technology-rich careers that are now available. I graduated from high school about 15 years ago. And so some of these careers that we're talking about did not exist at that time. I never heard the word BPO when I was in high school. There was no mention of a global services sector. And so my peers and I, we understood a career path to be quite linear. We were told that we should do very well at GSAT, CXC's GSAT, no PEP. We should go to UE, no, GSAT first, right? Then CXC, then we would go to UE or UTech or another university, and then we would take our final exams and we would become lawyers or doctors or accountants or teachers or nurses. That was it. And that was going to be our job until the day that we died and or the day we retired and started to collect our pension. We didn't understand that there were options. And so I'm so excited for you that you are in a position where you get to know, for those of you who are apprentices or who are younger people, that you get to know that there are options for you very early in your career. And I hope that you take those options up. Now, when I speak to you about navigating, different careers and the importance of on-the-job learning, I'm saying that because I have been through it. I'm not just speaking about this academically, but I have also had a very circuitous career path myself. So I was a science student in high school. My mother was a high school science teacher, so I did not have a choice in what I was doing, right? I started undergrad as a chemistry major. And then when I left, my degrees were in social science and English. So I made a big switch in the middle of university. Then I went to law school and I became a lawyer. And then I worked as a lawyer. And then I decided I want to go into education. Before COVID, I was running programs that were directly in schools where we had teams going into schools, working with teachers and students. And since COVID, all of that has shifted. And now all the programs that I am designing and helping to oversee are remote based. Everything is based on technology. So you can see that when I talk about the importance of learning skills on the job, it is not about a research or theory that I'm sharing. It is based on my own lived experience because I have had to learn skills in real time on the job, the same way that we're talking about today in terms of apprenticeship. Now, I want to check to make sure that you guys are with me and you're hearing me. So I want to ask you to answer this question for me in the chat. If you're listening on Facebook or YouTube or somewhere else, you can respond. So for millennials and Gen Z, those of us who are, the targets of these kinds of programs, how many jobs are millennials and Gen Z likely to have over their lifetime? How many jobs do you think millennials and Gen Z individuals, young people, are likely to have over their lifetime? I'm going to give a few seconds because I want to see if anybody comes up with a research-based number. So the question is, how many jobs do you think millennials or young people who are part of Generation Z will have in their lifetime? And I'm seeing some answers come in. Suzanne said 8, Robert said 3, Stephanie said 6, Gary said 10, Kishani said 5. And I want you to know, Gary Lewis, whoever you are the closest to being correct. According to the research that I have found, we are going to have at least 10 jobs in our lifetime, at least, with a third of us changing our career fields completely. And I'm one of those people, as I said, who has changed completely. So people like my mother, who was a high school chemistry teacher for 40 years, is going to be a rarity. That is no longer the norm. So our understanding of career paths and skills acquisition are very different. And so hearing the number of changes that we're going to go through, immediately we know we're going to have to keep acquiring skills through our lifetime, because the only way to be successful at so many changes is going to be to develop new skills along the way. And we may be quick to think that it is just the responsibility of the students and their parents, or maybe the employees, to keep themselves learning these new skills. Some may argue that it is the private sector or the employer's responsibility to upskill their employees, because it's in their best interest, it supports their bottom line if they make sure that their employees are acquiring new skills. And all of that is correct, but I'm here to argue that there is more to the full story. Because when we're talking about skill acquisition, when we're talking about apprenticeships and growth in the job market, we are looking at a national issue. And when we're talking about national development, personal responsibility and corporate responsibility are not enough. And of course, given my background of working with governments, particularly in the education sector, I have a lot of thoughts about the importance of the government taking the lead in this instance. And so that is what I was asked to talk about today, the importance of our Jamaican government investing in skills development for future opportunities. Now, I want to first of all acknowledge that clearly we're already on the right path, because it was the government that even allowed this program that we're here to talk about to be possible. They led the development of that. And so I want to give kudos to them for that. And I also want to ask all of us who are listening and participating today to hold the government even further accountable, to keep on giving these kinds of opportunities and creating these kinds of pathways for young people, not just young even, even for the people that are elder in their careers, further along in their careers, to also have opportunities to keep on developing skills. So I want to address 4 main reasons why it is really important for the government to be very involved in this arena. And then your assignment for all of us as engaged civic participants, as patriotic Jamaicans, is we're going to hold the government accountable to deliver on this. The first reason is that the government has a unique ability to optimize the education of its citizens. So when we start talking about, skills development for the global services sector, it's easy for us to just focus in on what is happening on the job, such as the training that our lovely apprentices have been getting. However, as an educator and as a policy professional, I would invite us to think of a bigger picture. One of the most critical issues that we see in the education sector globally is that students don't know how to learn. They don't know how to teach themselves a new skill or to teach themselves new information. But that is the most critical skill to have today in the job market, because the job market is changing so rapidly that the people that get ahead are often the people who can teach themselves something new. And I think COVID has made that clear for us, right? If you didn't know how to use Zoom, if you couldn't teach yourself how to use these new technologies quickly, you would have been left behind during this revolution that we are experiencing. But what we find is that students can SWOT information, as we used to do in high school, and we can regurgitate that information to earn an A. Some of us can even quote our teacher down to the word, but we cannot often explain why is an answer the best choice. So if students are not properly prepared with those reasoning skills, with the logical thinking, with the deductive abilities to succeed while they are in school, they are going to struggle to upskill when they enter the working world, because upskilling is very often an individually led or driven effort. And so that is why the government is critical, because they have to build a stronger pipeline starting from the education system itself, so that the long-term job of upskilling is going to become easier
when students leave secondary school or they leave university already having the ability to teach themselves new things. So because the public education system is still the most convenient way to reach and influence the majority of youth, if we want to create a professional norm of lifelong learning, we have to lay that foundation within the public education system. Another reason for government involvement is connection to our national goals. So again, I know we're talking about our individual achievements, and individually we should be proud, right? And we want people to focus on the skills that they are most excited about. But of course, no man is an island. And so we want to connect our individual progress to the progress of the nation wherever that is possible. And so the government is uniquely positioned to advise all the interested parties on which skills are in demand locally and even globally. The government has the early view into the pending deals and the projected industrial growth that can be leveraged to connect eager learners to future jobs. In fact, the government can play a role in accelerating economic growth by ensuring that such skills training programs provide the necessary talent that is needed to launch new modes of income generation in the country. And again, I want to say, I feel as if we're already on the right track because Ms. Edwards spoke to this, that it's already happening. The government has really expanded our understanding of what is possible by designating this sector as one of high priority. And that is something that allows us, if we pay attention to cluing that this is an area that we need to get upskilled in. I'll also add that by connecting the skills being promoted to our national goals, as outlined in Vision 2030 and the other policy documents, it creates a really valuable resource and system to ensure that we're going to have the necessary human resources that we need to advance as a nation. And it is in the government's best interest to develop, retain, and harness the best talent locally. It is important for them to provide guidance, both to employers and to the talents they want to hire, so that people know what are the most profitable skills to focus on based on where the country is headed. And I really want now to stress the global part of this sector. Because when we're talking about upskilling for the global services sector, we must understand that we need to consider not just what is needed locally, but also what our current and future partners and clients in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in Australia will be looking for when seeking contracts with us. We must be cognizant that we are not just competing against ourselves as Jamaicans for jobs, but rather a global virtual cohort of employees. So we have to be competitive in terms of our skills, in terms of our price, in terms of our efficiency, and in terms of our reliability. And so our government researchers, educators, our trade specialists are all very critical to help disseminate the relevant information about the global standards that Jamaicans need to meet in order to remain competitive. Thirdly, I think it's really important that the government helps to set the standards for all of these education offerings. As an education enthusiast, I wish we could say we are all learning for the sake of learning, right? Because we love more knowledge. But I think the reality is that many of us choose certain skills and certifications because we anticipate a certain reward, whether that is a promotion or a pay increase or admission to a prestigious organization or school, or even recognition from our peers and our superiors. But the reality is that not every course is equal. Not every certificate is equal. Thanks to COVID pushing us more aggressively into the world of online learning, there are now even more degrees, short courses, MOOCs, certifications, and education programs popping up. And those options can be overwhelming. And this is a place where the government can be of great help. By offering appropriate regulation and guidance, government bodies can help employers and employees to understand which of the many offerings are the most relevant for their goals and reduce the risk of wasted time and dollars on the part of the eager learners or even employers that may be footing the bill. And so that's a reason why I'm so excited about a program like this apprenticeship, because the apprentices were guided into this program by all the key stakeholders. So as apprentices, you can feel confident that the skills that you are getting are exactly the ones that will allow you to be more marketable and competitive in your careers. Now, finally, this issue is one that requires government attention because school as we know it is 20 years ago is rapidly becoming obsolete. I will take you back to my initial mention that when I was in high school, Montego Bay High School for girls, a little over 15 years ago, our perception of our careers was very linear. We thought we were going to follow prescribed steps. We were mostly related to passing exams, and we thought success was guaranteed at the other end. However, in the age of the internet, in the age of the fourth industrial revolution, books are outdated almost as soon as they're printed. I mentioned as a child, I really dreamt of owning those expensive Encyclopedia Britannicas. You know, it was the kind of thing that only the rich students had. You know, students who came from wealthy homes, they would talk about how they had encyclopedias at home. Those were viewed as the most respectable repositories of knowledge. No, I would never go and buy an encyclopedia, right? It would be considered a waste because all of us have Google right at our fingertips. So our learning cannot be held in our unchanging books and our outdated degrees. We have to be dynamic and continue to update our skills at all times. Even the United Nations has issued a global call for lifelong learning through the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically number 4, which is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So if we want to be a nation with a commitment to human rights that matches our superior cultural imprint, we have an opportunity to be trendsetters by showing the world, especially in this challenging COVID environment, what it truly looks like to deliver on that sustainable development goal of promoting lifelong learning and opportunities for all. As this GSS apprenticeship program continues to grow, I hope the learnings will not just be limited to those people watching today and those who participated in the program, but that it can be used as a model for other actors locally and abroad to start delivering on this commitment to lifelong learning. And finally, I must stress that while I was asked to discuss the government's responsibility here, I do believe we have a collective responsibility as corporate entities and employers, as educators, as individual employees, and even as private citizens to leverage our talent to support this kind of programming. And while we are here to support this program, I hope we all realize that we can continue to contribute to skill acquisition for ourselves and for those around us through our peer relationships, through mentorships, through volunteering, and even more. So the charge I leave to all of you listening here today is to reflect now on how can you play a role in helping other people in your community to upskill so that the benefit of this program does not rest just on the 300 apprentices and their employees, but it expands to all the communities of which you are a part. Thank you so much. Again, congratulations to the 300 apprentices and all the stakeholders who have done the work that has led up to this monumental day. I wish you much success, and with all the hard work you have put in, that success must be guaranteed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna Lee, for joining us all the way from Nairobi with such a relevant and riveting message. Indeed, lifelong learning is paramount. To all my apprentices, if you think Donnelly's message was impactful and you learned something, please type the number 10 in the comment section. And we are about to take your questions. I know you have some questions that you might want to ask. Now is the time. Let's hear them. We have over 600 apprentices enrolled in the program. Not sure how many are on right now. But that's just simply amazing. I see Kimon, Romain, Lenore, Suzanne, Mobe, all the way, right? Thank you for this insightful message, Donnelly. Dania Davidson, Georgette, Stephanie. Do we have any questions for Donnelly? I see Team Ibex, Georgette. Gary from HGS. How are you feeling? How is everyone doing at this time while we wait on the questions? Are you excited? Remember to follow us, follow the GSS Jamaica on all platforms. If you're not already doing so. Also remember to grab a copy of the GSS Apprenticeship Week's digital magazine. Yes, there is a magazine and you're able to download that by checking the GSS Jamaica social media pages for the link to download and review the magazine. And on Tuesday, we will be having the industry webinar on the GSS Competitive Fund and Apprenticeship. So be sure to join that webinar. Details will come. You should have those details already. And on Wednesday, Ask an Apprentice. Do we have the persons who will be participating in that on Facebook on the live right now? Say here, right here, if you are one of those persons. Ask an Apprentice live session on Wednesday. All right. Team HGS all the way. Hello, Raquel Squire. Oh, Lenore, you're one of them. All right. I hope you're all picking up your clues for the scavenger hunt. Okay. So at this time, since we have no questions, I'm pleased to introduce our next speaker, who is the Talent Platform and Communications Manager. Her name is Tanae Daly. Tanae will be speaking about the launch of the scavenger hunt and the video competition. Over to you, Tanae.
Hello, everyone. So the GS Apprenticeship Week 2021 is finally here, and I'm so excited for the week of activities ahead. So my task here today is to formally launch the video competition and to update you on the online scavenger hunt. So firstly, for our video competition, firms involved in the GSS Apprenticeship program will compete against each other for the chance to win the GSS Apprenticeship Week trophy. So they have submitted their videos, and those videos will be posted to the GSS social media pages today for users to vote for their favorite videos by liking the post. Now, voting will end on Thursday, September 9th. Winners will be announced on Friday, September 10th during this GSS Zoom party and will also be posted on social media. Now, firms were tasked with creating a 3-minute video highlighting their participation and journey in the GSS apprenticeship program. So they needed to tell us why they decided to join the program, how the training is helping to enhance the skills of employees, and their desired outcomes of the program for their employees. So one firm will be selected as the winner of the GSS Apprenticeship Week trophy. The winning video will be determined by votes made by social media users through the cumulative number of likes on the video posted on the GSS social media pages. That's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So you can look out for the videos on our pages today and start voting for your favorites to win. You can find us at Global Services Sector Jamaica on Facebook and LinkedIn, at GSS Jamaica on Instagram, and at GSS Jamaica 1 on Twitter. So for our apprentices, we have a special competition for them to win their own individual prize of a Bluetooth speaker. So our online scavenger hunt began on Friday, September 3rd, and will continue until Wednesday, September 8th. So, apprentices from all participating firms can enter by teaming up as a group to win. A firm can have more than one group, but each group should not have more than 4 persons. So we have 2 clues posted so far on our pages, and from now until Wednesday, we'll post the remaining 3 clues on our social media pages. So groups can submit their answers or photos of items each day by sending us a direct message on our Facebook or Instagram page. And on the 5th and final day, which is Wednesday, groups must submit the answer to the last clue by sending us a direct message on our pages. And the first group to submit the right answer, who had the correct answer from the previous clues, will be selected as the winning group. So on the last day, it will be a matter of speed as well as accuracy. And of course, as I mentioned, the winners will be announced during our Zoom party on Friday. So I'm looking forward to seeing all our apprentices there. And I must tell you that so far we have IBEX in the lead with 2 groups leading the pack, but it's not too late for other groups to move up the rankings. So get on board and enter our scavenger hunt. Good luck to all the firms and the groups for the video competition and our scavenger hunt. And I am looking forward to a great week. Over to you, Octavia.
Thank you so much, Tene. Thank you, Tene. And to all the participants, may the odd be in your favor. So for those entering the scavenger hunt and the firms participating in the video competition, all the best. May the best team win. But as you know, social media speaks, so get voting. Awesome. In closing, we are about to wrap up, and so I would just like to reiterate that this week we will have the webinar tomorrow, and that's Tuesday, August 20. Sorry, we'll have the webinar on Tuesday, and that is the webinar on the GSS Competitive Fund, as well as on Wednesday, Ask an Apprentice live session on Facebook. So if you are not already following all the platforms, do so now. Remember to grab a copy of the GSS Apprenticeship Week digital magazine, and you're able to download that. The link is available for you to download and view on the GSS Jamaica's social media pages. We had one question, or actually two questions, that came in afterwards. Will short course certificates be opened up to persons who were not selected by their company? Who would like to take that question? That question from Lillian Chambers. Over to you, Marjorie.
Hi, Marjorie, you're on mute.
Oh, so sorry about that, everyone. I've been talking a lot and on mute. What I was saying was that the short-term certificate program normally is only available to persons who are employed in the industry, employed with firms in the industry. But there is a modality that allows us to engage with persons in order to offer training to persons who are not necessarily or currently contracted with the industry, with the global services sector. An example of this is the GSS internship program. You would have seen advertisements placed on our social media sites asking persons to apply for different positions at different firms. This is one such example. Any training that we offer to persons who are not currently employed by industry firms will have to be endorsed by the GSSC. So I'll ask you to just keep watching our social media platforms for different offerings, for different training offerings as we build out the program. But the most recent one is the GSS internship program. Thank you, and apologies for being on mute earlier.
Do we have other questions? Okay, from Raquel Squire, what are the type of educational programs being offered? I am aware of supervisory management, but what else is available?
Okay, I guess I'll take that one. Thank you, Raquel. Well, right, supervisory management. We're getting ready as well to launch a leadership and management apprenticeship program that will start in January. On the short-term certificate, we have already conducted training in many areas, in project management, in customer service, in data analytics. You know, it depends on what the firm identifies as its need at the given time. We are getting ready to roll out a cybersecurity training program as well. And we have the internship program, which allows persons to have on-the-job training, but in a specific area, for example, data analytics. I hope that answers your question. And I would say, Raquel, if you have suggestions of other programs that you think we should consider, do not hesitate. Send us the information and we will discuss it with the GSSC. Thank you.
Thank you, Marjorie. Thanks, Marjorie. Do we have any more questions? Awesome. All right. So we're into our wrap session at this time. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank, in closing, all the apprentices first and foremost, because this is your week. All 600 apprentices, great job thus far, and all the best for the remainder of this course. All the best for the persons who will be participating in the different teams for the online scavenger hunt and all the activities this week. All the best. Thanks to our guest speaker, Donnelly Donaldson. Thank you so much for that message. Thank you, Diane Edwards, Marjorie Straw, K. Marie Forbes Robotham, Tanae Daly, Luana Holt, and everyone who participated in this launch event. Thank you so much. Once again, I reiterate for our apprentices and everyone else who are not already following the GSS Jamaica pages, go ahead and do so on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, all the pages that we have for the GSS Jamaica. Just tune in for your updates. Remember to grab a copy of the magazine and download it. All the best again. Thank you so much. We're excited and we're looking forward to a wonderful week. There is another question. I am getting the prompt. No problem. We have about 2 minutes. And this question is from Sasha Gay Hausen. If you have completed one program, can you join another? Good question. Marjorie?
That's an excellent question. Sasha, that's going to be partially dependent on your employer. After you complete one program, the GSS project looks to see how you move into that role and how you function into that role. So really, it would depend on the justification that your employer gives for recommending you immediately after finishing one program to join another. Thank you.
I hope that answers your question, Sasha. All right. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us today and have a wonderful rest of week.